I never felt comfortable telling that story because I didn't want to draw attention to the fact that someone had broken in. Feels like really, like, I don't know, it was very traumatic. So I just wanted to like separate that. And also just part of me was very paranoid that like it was somebody who like watched my stream or something. So like, what if I talked about it? But I genuinely do not think it was somebody who watched my stream. But yeah, it was terrifying. I will say, like, that is one of the scariest things that ever happened to me. And it was, yeah, if you guys hadn't seen it, but it's on my Truth or Drink, but TLDR, like, it was 4 in the morning, 4:30 a.m. And I was, all the lights in my room were off, and it was at the old house, the place I live with, like, Syke and Ray and Myung and Yvonne. And I was sleeping, or I was about to sleep. I was, like, phone scrolling at 4:30, lights all off. And then I hear a, like the quietest sound, but I could tell it's my door being opened as quietly as possible. So I sit up and I see a guy's foot walk into my bedroom. And I was like, what? And so I was like, excuse me, hello? And this guy is just in my room, like, walked in, and I was like, excuse me? And I was so shocked. I was like, who is this? And then he's like, sorry, your front gate is open. And I was so tired at this point that I was like, oh, my bad for like thinking that he was like breaking in or something. I was like, oh, well, can you close it? And then he steps out and he closes my door. And I'm just sat on my bed, like, realizing what he had to do to get to my window. Like, I didn't think about it at first. This man had to walk up our driveway, past our gates, okay, go to the right, find the entrance to our backyard, go there, walk around the pool, then enter another gate, and then walk in that gate and turn left and find the most obscure room in the back. Like this man worked for this. He did not just go, oh my God, that guy, their gate's open, let him know. And also, he had to, he was trying to sneak into my room. Like, if I was asleep, I don't know what the hell would have happened. That's the most scary thing to me, is that it was a one night I happened to be awake at 4:45 a.m. I do not sleep that late ever. I'm always asleep at 4:45. So that man was probably like, what, has he been in there before? Like, that is the scariest thing to me. So I was frozen in my bed for 20 minutes. I could not move. I was like, holy like, as I was processing it, and I was thinking, what if he's just standing outside my door still? Like, I was thinking about, he could be outside my door. And then I was like, he might not have left. I was like, I should check security cameras. And I need to tell my roommates, like, what if he's in my roommate's rooms? Like, bro, what if the man's in the house right now? Like, I was freaking out about what was locked and what wasn't. And so, and then I get up and then I walk and I'm like tiptoeing around the house, terrified of running into him again. And then I look, then I knock on Myung's door. She's like right next to me. So I like bang on her door. And I'm like, Myung, wake up. And then she comes to my door and she's like, what? And I was like, Myung, I hate to wake up. I'm freaking out. There was a man who just tried to break into my room. I need help checking the cameras and everything. And we go check the cameras immediately. And we find out that this guy, like, he basically didn't leave for like an hour. Okay. But by the time we checked, I feel like, did we check in the morning? I can't remember if we checked right away, but either way, we figured out that he did not leave for an hour. So I'm like, but when I saw him, like when we saw him on the cameras, he wasn't at our house. I'm trying to remember the timeline, but either way, we know he didn't leave for an hour. The guy was wandering, like looking lost, just derping around the house, kind of walking, like when he comes up to the driveway, he's also like looking at the front yard, for like, he's kind of checking for security cameras. He looked kind of high. I don't even know. So I couldn't tell if he was like on drugs or something. We also lived in a really sketchy area. So, like just the whole area is very sketch. It was just not safe at all. I have another story. I don't know if I could tell it. I guess I could just tell it. Because it's terrifying. It's like, it's even, I could debate whether it's worse than this one. It's also in my room. So, but so basically, so then, okay, so at the end of this, and I can't remember if we called the police for both of them. We might have called the cops. I think I called the cops for both. Okay, because the cops were in our house multiple times. But this one, but then and the one time the entire fire department was in our house. But that was for the carbon monoxide incident. Which, did I tell you guys about the carbon monoxide incident? Man, I can't remember. That house was cursed. Okay, we were dying to get out of that one. You know, like we're like talking about getting out of this one? Oh, no. That last one, I was dying to get out. I was like, can we leave tomorrow? I do not feel safe in my house. I was just so terrified. And we also, on top of it, by the way, one of these happened, like it happened when we had security. Okay, anyways. So back to what happened for that one. I'm trying to remember. I go into Myung's room and then, I spend the night in her room. I sleep and then I wake up and then, we check the cameras and then the guy just like wandered into my room and then he like took an hour to leave. So then after that, nothing happened. It was just, I didn't know what to do. Anyway, so that was the wandering man. The second incident that happened, I'll talk about it just because I think the only reason I hadn't talked about this is because, I was scared once again of it being somebody who was targeting me, but cause it felt targeted based on timing. But this one was, when I went to Disneyland with my parents. Okay. I went to Disneyland with my parents, in sometime in January or something. And I was at Disneyland. Everyone else was home. And my car, I usually have my car parked. I drove my car to Disneyland. And we have a great time. I come back. It was just me, my mom, and my dad. I came back, parked my car, and I walked through the front door. And I look at the shoes in the house. And it's kind of a joke how many shoes we had. And so, because usually you walk in and there's just shoes. We just had so many shoes. I look down and I realize that there's like 12 pairs of shoes missing. Okay. And I'm like, what the heck? And I was like, it looked like a pattern. So I thought someone was like, it was like a little prank or something. So I was like, okay, the shoes are gone. I take my bags into my room. I drop off my bags and I use the toilet. And as I'm sitting on the toilet, I'm staring across from where my bags are and where my personal shoe collection is. And I look at my shoes there and I'm like, there's a bunch of shoes missing again. And I'm like, there's like 9 pairs of shoes. And I'm like, what the hell? Where are my shoes? And I go to like message our house group chat, like, who's stealing shoes, like a joke. I was like who is literally borrowing my shoes or who's taking shoes? And then my heart like drops because I realize like, what if somebody stole these shoes? And I immediately pan to basically like my valuables where I had every bag, everything I had ever purchased, like that was expensive, was all in one spot like an idiot. And everything was gone. I looked at my drawer and everything, like it was completely open and I realized that we had been robbed. Like I was like, holy shit, all I got robbed. So I panicked because I opened up the group chat and I was like, guys, please check your stuff. We got robbed. Like someone was in our house and someone is in my room. All of my stuff is gone. And I ran to like my jewelry box basically, and the entire box is just stolen. Like I didn't have a box. It was so sad. It was so sad. I was so sad. It was like I had nicely organized so many things. At that time I had accumulated a lot of jewelry and earrings and rings and like it was I don't even know how much it was all worth, but it was just my jewelry box and gone. And so then from there I told the house, and luckily like nobody else had their actual room like broken into, but the house itself was like walked through. The shoes were at the front of the house, and I'm just crying, and the police come over, and I'm just crying. I was just like so sad, and they're like, and the worst part is this cop is like, hey, so write down a list of every bag and everything and the value of it next to it so we can make a nice report. And I was like, Okay. So I had to dig into my memory of like every purse I had bought, I just got more and more. I was like, oh yeah, that one Prada bag. I loved that Prada bag. No. Anyways, it was sad. It was so sad. So, and this was, I think it was after the other incident, right? So I felt so unsafe. So then we start digging through security footage, okay? There were two guys who broke into our house. One of them, he kind of looked like he wasn't trying to hide who he was. As in, he had a ski mask on, but like his pants were like crisscross, like he kind of had like it was almost like a signature, like it looked like it was very recognizable, like his pants. I'm like, why would he like try and, I don't know. So this guy is like basically pull up, this guy sneaks up the front, and then we see him come out, and bro, it was so hard to watch this part. He had bags of my stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, those are my Uggs. I could like see him. They were like tip-toppling out of his shoulders, right? He would like drop my shoes and like go and pick him up. I was like, no, give him back. He stuffed him in his trunk, come back up. And the audacity, this robber, he starts getting more and more comfortable. He starts doing spins up our driveway. He literally starts like, I had no choice but to be like, bro, like, I'm happy for him. Like, he got away with it. He was literally dancing up the driveway by like the sixth one. He got like, he stopped caring. At first he was like, so, you know, and then by the time he was in that room and out, he was using my bags to take my other stuff. Like he was like, oh my God, it was like, I would have like kind of like bigger bags, like, you know, and then he was like stuffing those bags with my purses. So he had like 19 of my bags just coming out of my other big bag. And he was like holding that on one shoulder. So, so we're pretty sure it was just our backyard. One of the doors wasn't locked. Like, I don't remember which one. Couldn't figure exactly out how they got in. But the scariest part is that my roommates were home. So like people were just like in my room, breaking in, taking shit while my roommates were literally like right next door sleeping. I was like, that is, of everything, that is the scariest thing. And also I thought about it, like they closed the door, but like my pets could have just ran out. So it was of everything, when I ran back in the house to check for everything, I was just like, I just talked to my roommates, like, did you guys hear anything? They're like, no. I was like, dude, there's just like this guy, like two guys just in our house at like 5 a.m. And the worst part about all this, guys, is at this time, the reason I was so comfortable is because we had hired full-time security. So we had somebody who was a full-time security guard outside of our house 24/7. But this morning, he had chosen to just leave early. So then I started to have a conspiracy theory. Did our security guard work with these people to let them in our house? Because I'm like, we had full-time 24/7 security who just decided to go, peace, I'm leaving early. Leaves 20 minutes later, these guys break in and then leave, and then our security guard comes back, and I'm like, because we had hired security because of what happened to me earlier, so I was like, bro, I actually think they work together. But when we call him back in, he's like, and he starts pulling up footage from like 3 months ago, and he's like, actually, I know these guys, they've been like kind of like spying on your house since November, and this was in January or something like that. It was like he basically was like, I recognize those pants, like these guys have been scoping out your house. I'm like, then why didn't you tell us anything? But he's like, yeah, I've been looking for them. And I'm like, so I swear that they were working together. I just wanted to wipe my hands with it all. I felt so icky. I was like, I just wanted to get out of the house so bad. So I was just trying to keep like my head and like, I went live the next day, just acted like nothing happened. I'm like, I'm a little stressed. Had all my shit broken into, stolen. Let's play some Valorant. Oh my God, it was awful. So anyways, I couldn't talk about it for so long just because of like, just safety of like, I also thought that, someone told me that like, it looked, I forgot where I heard this, but basically someone said like, oh, this guy has been robbing a bunch of creators' houses. I think it was my security guard. But he said something about like that guy had been in like some TikTokers' houses. So then I felt like I was being targeted. Also, it was because it was the weekend that I was gone. like exactly the 2 days that I left with my car means like they were waiting for me to leave, right? Like the what coincidence is it that they knew I was leaving, and then these people pull up, go into only my room, steal only my stuff, and then I come back. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's how I felt. I was like, dude. But he came in so flabbergasted, like no, like, what, how did this happen? And I'm like, was it you? Unfortunately, I couldn't be bothered with accusing anybody or like daddy. So I just said like, dude, it's over, done. You leave the house. You're gone. So they knew, that's what I'm saying. I was like, it felt like they knew the layout of my house, how to get like specifically target my room and nobody else's. It's not like, you know, it just felt like they had information. So that's why I was terrified that, somebody in the house, they had watched the stream. Like I was just scared that they knew my room because of my stream, and like they'd put together the layout of our house from like hints. Like they knew like Saikuno was above me, and they knew Myung was to my left because of just like sound and how people are getting around. Cause like if you watch enough streams, you can kind of realize who lives on what floor and what next to people. And so I started to get really paranoid about like how this person knew when I'd be gone. I started to get paranoid about the security guard being like working with him. I started to just, so I was like losing my mind at the end of that lease. I genuinely, I did not know how to like function. I was just like crying all the time and like asking if we could like get out. I was like, I just don't feel safe in the house. I've had 2 strange men in my room this year. I was like, what is that? I've had 3 strange men in my bedroom in 1 year, just in my room at like 4 or 5 in the morning. That is not cool. Yeah. So anyways, I didn't say those just for like, it's been what, 3 years since it happened, or 2 years since it had, 2.5 years now. But like behind the scenes, me getting robbed was my personality, by the way. Like you guys didn't have to deal with it, but you know how like surgery became my personality for like a week? Oh, anytime anything happened, I was like, guys, I got robbed. And they're like, yeah, okay, yeah, Leslie got robbed. Get her water. I was like, I've been robbed. Please be understanding. It was so annoying. I just used it to get everything because you know what? I was robbed, okay? I was robbed of lots, and I deserved to complain. I deserved to. And I couldn't say it on stream because I had to be safe about it, but I deserve to complain. And everyone's like, you know what? Yeah, I actually just genuinely feel bad for you. Like, yeah, that, you know what? Get her what she needs. It was really cute. My friends, they all try to replace things. Like they bought me jewelry or like bags, and it was really cute. The funny thing is that like the Prada bag that I really did like, it was funny. Sekuno and Yvonne both bought me the same Prada bag because they knew it was like my favorite one, and then they both replaced it. I was like, oh no. And Yvonne bought me, and Myung bought me like earring. Like they were trying to replace pieces, and I was like, it's okay. And actually, I would say that lesson, after all of that, I realized that I don't know. It made me realize I don't need any of it. So I actually like literally since then, like I was on a shopping spree before that. I was like buying a lot of random bags I didn't need. I actually just stopped. I've bought one bag since that all happened, and that bag I bought as a present for somebody, but then decided that I liked it too much, so I kept it. But that person never knew, so don't worry. We'll never say it. But I did. It was a present. And I'm like, damn, I really like that bag. I'm gonna keep it. But they didn't know. I got him something else. So even the one bag I have bought since then, you know, I didn't even mean it for myself. I just kept it by accident. Anyways, so that's gone. My Van Cleef is stolen. The Tiffany bracelet. Actually, no, I have the lock one. There was a few pieces that made it out because they weren't in the jewelry box. So a couple of the pieces were like by my desk. So the Van Cleef necklace got stolen, but the Van Cleef bracelet made it out, which is, in my opinion, even better. There's a couple pieces that I'm like, I'm so happy I still have. And then I was like, damn, the rest of my purses weren't even good enough to steal. Like, I kind of hated them too. And I'm like, damn, I was right about that. I knew that Gucci bag was ugly. The robber was like, nah, I don't want that. I'm like, that is just so ugly that even the robber didn't take it. So, so then I started to hate it too. Cause I'm like, they didn't even want to steal it. Okay. By the way, this guy had, like, this robber, he had taste, as in, like, he knew his brands. He left all of my cheap shoes. It was insane. Everything that was like $100 or less just stayed there. I'm like, wait, he selected. He scanned and selected, and he's like, boom, 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 boom. Like, he did his research. He knew everything that had value. I was shocked. I couldn't even believe it. Everything he left sucked. It was all of my worst stuff. I'm like, wow. I was thinking about giving it away anyway. He took everything nice. He didn't leave one thing. Except the stuff that wasn't there. Like, luckily I'm a bit of a mess. So, like, some things were just lying around my bedroom or, like, on my desk and stuff. So, and the best part is that, like, some of the stuff that I used the most wasn't there because I used it so much. It was, like, by my bed. Anyways, yes, the audacity to be picky, but he was this guy is a professional. Like, props where props are due, or whatever, credit where credit is deserved. He's really good at what he does. I hate him, and I hope he burns and dies a painful death, but he was good at it. Insane. It is like not his first time doing this. He knew what to do. He just went, I just got all the shoes. Da! Mr. Robert, I know. Yes, I genuinely think that, well, I trusted our security guard, and I still don't know if it was part of it. I have a conspiracy theory that he was part of it. I think so. I don't know, because he's a good actor too. If it wasn't him, he really did, like, seemed shocked and like just absolutely shocked. But either way, even if it wasn't him, he just left when he wasn't supposed to leave. Like, anyways, but he said he used to do security for Jeff Bezos. And I'm like, okay, if you're protecting Jeff Bezos, like, you must be the real deal. So you're in. But I should have known. Duh. It's just too coincidental, right? I didn't know. My mom had all these theories. And I was like, you're crazy. But then I'm like, maybe you're onto something. Because she was the first person who was like, it's your security guard, Leslie. Like, of course. Like, what kind of timing is that? And I'm like, no, he would never do that. Like, he's been with us for like 8 months. Like, ever since the first incident happened, he was there. He's a cool dude. Sometimes we just chat with him outside. He always walks me down and up. Like, anytime, like, we would get picked up for any event, he would always, like, escort us down, literally close and open doors. He would go above and beyond. Like, there's no way it's him. That's why, like, I couldn't, like, we also like, knew him. Like, he, you know, like, we would chat with him all the time, or he would wait for I don't know. So then I was like, it can't be him. He's a good dude. But then, I don't know. You never know. He's just playing the long con. He's also grossly overpaid, and my mom was not happy with that either. So my mom had a lot of reasons to not like him already. Like, she's like, this guy is scamming you, by the way. Make sure he's not sleeping on the job, okay? And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. She's like, you don't even need security. I was like, we do. Okay, people break in our house. There was a man in my room at 4:40. I've been robbed, Mom. Don't you get it? I was a mess, guys. Like, I was truly, like, I kept it together on stream. The next day, the day after, the month after, I was losing my mind. Okay? I've been robbed. Don't you understand? He vented. Yeah, no, I mean, now that and now that I explain it publicly as well, I genuinely do think it was him. And me being too scared to say anything, I was just like, okay, probably not. Yeah. So I don't even know if I did a great job handling it, but I try to take it as a lesson, and I tell myself, maybe this is cope, but I say I'm glad it happened. I always tell my friends, I'm really glad it happened, because no, I am really happy that I got robbed and had all my valuables stolen from me, because it made me realize that I don't need any of that to be happy. I don't need anything, okay? And it was a life lesson in safety, okay? I didn't want it at all. It didn't make me happy. And my cats are safe, and so I can appreciate, it makes me step back. Love being robbed. 10 out of 10 would recommend. But I do think it made me like only buy things that like I need in the future. I've been a lot better about it. Like I don't feel this urge to buy, because I'm like, because anytime I'm out shopping now, right? And Myung's like, do you want to go somewhere like, you know, you a little fancy? And I'm like, what's the point? It's just gonna get stolen. She's like, bro, and I'm like, sorry, I've been robbed. What's the point, Myung? It's gonna get taken. We're gonna get robbed. It's just how it works. Just Los Angeles, you know. So that was like my mentality for a bit. I was really just like, nope, what's the point? So I would think about it, like, am I okay buying this knowing it will be robbed before I buy everything? It might get robbed. I've been robbed so many times in my life. I had my car broken into in 2016, had my laptop stolen the same day the guitar clip dropped. I mean, that was one of those days I was considering going to the 9th floor, you know what I mean? And then there's that. And then my car got broken into when I lived in Koreatown, and then they took everything except my Taylor Swift CDs. I mean, that was that. And then what else happened? I mean, it's gone bad. Sorry, I'm chilling. It's bad. It was, no, I know. It's been disastrous. So, I have a really bad track record of being of stuff being stolen from me. But the worst one was definitely at that house. 2 people in my room was horrifying. Like I know they left the Taylor Swift CD. They rummaged through my entire, whatever you call that thing where you pull it out, and they're like, they threw it all on the table. They grabbed a bunch of random stuff, and then they rummaged everything and just left my Taylor CDs. And I'm like, and you have bad music taste. Crazy. Okay, but that's not all of Los Angeles. You know, I haven't been robbed here. We're really safe here. It's great. But we've learned a lot of lessons, you know, here. And we've taken a lot of safety precautions to stay safer. But yeah. And the worst part is that you don't know if it's just some crazy drugged out dude and his friend barging into your house, or if it's someone who watches your stream. So that's where it sucks, is like they might just be going door to door breaking your house, but then you get paranoid that maybe there's somebody from the internet who knows where you live, or who found out from, like, and that's kind of the part that drives me crazy, is that like I don't know how much they know about me, and if they're watching me, and if they're like the next day if they're tuning into my stream and I'm going to talk about it, and like if they're checking like if they, like the room in the background for things, like that's where my mind started to like go. But I kept thinking like, of course they're not watching my stream. This is a bad area in LA, so they're probably just checking door to door, right? Because we were on that Nextdoor app. It's basically an app that like you log in and you put your neighborhood, and it's just like people, it's like a community social media for your neighborhood. So it's like, oh, like I found a missing dog, or my kid's missing, or something like that. Not like it would be so casual, my kid's missing, but like, you know what I mean? Like, so then, but people would be frequently like, hey, man with gun, 8 p.m. Like he's just roaming around, like be careful. I mean, it was sketch. Sorry. You know, it's the stuff, you see some weird stuff on there, but like, yeah, so you would see that on Nextdoor too. So I was just like, it's just probably someone. America. You get a bit numb to it, honestly. But the worst is that, you know, you hear and you're like, guns, like immediately. No one's thinking. Recently I've been hearing a bit of it, but it's fireworks usually. But that's what we always be thinking. It ain't so great. Anyways, also happy that at the end of the day everybody's safe, because when I think back to all of that happening, it is, the worst part of it is just that there was a strange man in my room, in my house where my roommates were and where I was, that you don't know what they're doing or what their intentions were, what they had on them, what would have happened in a face-to-face like interaction. I did have one face-to-face interaction, but for some reason that guy just closed the door. Like, I don't know what he would have done. Like, Isn't that not terrifying? Like, think about that. Like that guy probably thought about what he was gonna do if I woke up or if somebody bumped into him. Mans could have been like, poof. Like, that is a terrifying thought. I'm like, holy crap, I could be dead. Or like, what if, I don't know. I try not to think of all the what ifs of that situation, but it could have been aggressive, right? But me going, well, can you close the gate? Can you close it? If thank you for letting me know, but go close the gate then. Good night. Like, insane. Yes, I mean, man, that's even scarier. Like, I'm thinking about the other scenario where he successfully crawled into my room, right? And he's rummaging through my stuff, and I, like, open my eyes, and he's just, like, you know what I mean? What if he's just looking at me? That's a horror movie. That is a horror movie. That is me. I'm closing my eyes again and going back to bed, and I'm just praying he goes away. That's horrifying. No, I know it could have been. Sorry, I have thoughts, and this is what, like, in my mind could have happened, and so, like, but yeah, that was awful. It was a bad night. It was really bad. And then the other night was this one wasn't as bad. This was the carbon monoxide night. This was like also 4 a.m, and we hear like a burr, 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 and it was like carbon monoxide, please leave the house, carbon monoxide. I'm like, oh my god. Okay, I go outside. Myung's there. We crack a window. We crack a window, and I start to feel lightheaded because I was like, dude, I think we're gonna die. Carbon monoxide can kill you, right? So I'm like, I think I feel lightheaded. What do you feel, Myung? And she's like, maybe a bit. Yeah, I think I'm lightheaded too. And then Ray comes down. She's like, what's going on? And we're like, the carbon monoxide. She's like, okay, I'm gonna go back to bed. And we're like, no. She's like, I don't think it's anything. And then same with Saikuno. He's just like, okay, like, I can't remember what Saikuno did. If he hung, no, I think he also, they both went back to their rooms, and me and Myung are like breathing out the backyard. And then I'm like, wait a minute, like, I think the monoxide alarm is just dying, the battery's just dead. Like, that's probably just what happened, right? But I couldn't help but start feeling lightheaded, and I couldn't tell, like, I really just couldn't tell if I was placebo effect, like, you know what I mean? Like, knowing that because carbon monoxide would probably make me feel lightheaded and then pass out. But so we were both paranoid. Anyways, a couple minutes later, like, we hear a woo, 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 woo. We're like, oh my god, the fire department's here. Boom, 6 firefighters bang through our door, and we're like, over here. We're like, the carbon monoxide alarm's going off. And then the guy's like, okay, and I'm pretty sure, like, the battery was just dead. I can't remember, but yeah, the battery was dead. There was no carbon monoxide. It was just like, yeah. So then they fixed the battery, got on a ladder. I think we signed a paper or two, and it was 6 a.m. And then we looked at each other and we're like, shall we go get bagels? Or shall we go get donuts? And we did a 6 a.m. trip to Windshell's Donut House. And we were like so tired, and we ate like pizza bagels. I'm like, these are kind of good. Damn. Were they hot though? I don't know. They were wearing all the firefighter gear. No, I know. Listen. That's how I felt. I was like, it's probably nothing, but say that it is something. You fools are going back to bed. Put your head out the window. Donuts were all, oh yeah, these are like the 4 a.m. It's like one of those janky donut, like Yum Yum Donuts or something. Do you guys have that? Or like, you know, like donut houses, the really janky ones that open at like 2, 3, 4 a.m. Or 24-hour ones. Oh yeah, they were open, and we went to go get it. Anyways, yeah, so that was that last house. So my excitement about moving out of that house, I guess you could probably go back on some VODs and figure out the timeline, or you could probably find a VOD of me around like January, where I'm like talking about how stressed I am, but then I'm not saying anything. I'm just like, yeah, some stressful stuff is happening. That is the stressful stuff. Anyways, it was awful. Hi, Carnage. Pre and post robbed Leslie. Hey, listen, I've survived it. I've learned my lesson. I still do have a lot of stuff worth stealing, but not nearly as much. That guy made out like a bandit, okay? Made out like a bandit. We got closure, yeah. I finally shared. I've been through it. It's true.